Hello and welcome to Never Seen It. This is a podcast where we sit down and watch movies that we haven't seen yet. My name is Trent. I'll be your host today. Sitting with me is my wife, Betsy.
I'm the other host.
We're on our fifth and final episode of Hanksgiving. We hope that you've enjoyed it up to this point, but today we're going to finish it off with a movie from the one and only Tom Hanks from this decade. Today we're going to watch A Man Called Otto from 2022. Betsy, we haven't seen this movie yet. This is going to be the final Tom Hanks movie we are watching. I'm just going to get right into it. What do you know about this thing?
So I actually heard about this movie before this iteration came out. It's actually, I think it's like Swedish or Scandinavian. Yes. It's a remake, but it's also based on a book. So it just depends on your preference, what your source material is.
Yeah, there was a book that came out in 2012, a novel, and there was a Swedish movie based on the book in 2015.
And so I had heard about that in so much that I had seen like the poster. So when this movie came out, I was like, wait, isn't that a remake? And it is. So it's this guy called Otto who is a grumpy old man who lives alone. And I guess he learns how to have acceptance and love or something.
Yeah, just based on the trailer, it seems like he is a widower. He is an old man who lost his wife through some kind of means. And I guess maybe in the years since she's been gone, he has become a bitter old man who lives by himself, who doesn't really talk to anybody, who doesn't have any, young kids or maybe even any family around. And yeah, I guess this is just his story, and maybe this is going to be one of those maybe uplifting stories that
redemption.
He's going to come out of a shell and he's going to meet some people that are going to be really nice to him. And I know there's a cat in the movie that he befriends him. And I mean, that's kind of what I'm gleaning from the trailers anyway. I don't know if you know any more than that.
I really don't. We really only had about 3 movies that we could pick from this decade because we're pretty early in the decade. But this one, the trailer made us giggle. So we're like, you know what? Let's bookend it. We started with a comedy. We'll end with kind of a comedy.
Yeah.
And I don't really know much else about it.
All right. Well, that's going to be the end of this intro. So we're going to go watch A Man Called Otto. We will be right back. We are back. So, Betsy, how many times did you cry?
I didn't come here today to cry a bunch, but here we are.
Here we are. Holy shit. Betsy, what'd you think of A Man Called Otto?
So I had heard mixed things about this movie. Like, it doesn't have a super high Rotten Tomatoes rating. Not that really means anything.
Not from the critics, anyway, yeah.
And I had, like I said, heard, some people like it, some people don't like it. It's definitely a sappy kind of movie. But yeah, I was into it. I was crying.
Yeah.
It had me going. And I'm just like, fuck you, Tom Hanks. Fuck you, filmmakers. I didn't want this today, but I can't stop. Like, I was at the end kind of a mess.
I can attest to that. I was not like full on bawling and like tears coming down, but good God, did they really get me. And it wasn't about, Otto being old and kind of sick and eventually at the end of his life. No, the stuff that really got to me was him and his wife, Sonia.
Yeah, so this is a live action Up. It's an old grumpy man, and it just imagine the first 10 minutes of Up, but they just kind of give you a taste, and then they stretch it out.
Yeah, they kind of dole it out in pieces.
And it just made it that much worse. Like, you think you're a wreck when they do it to you once in that movie.
Yeah.
Here they do it to you 4 or 5 times, and I'm just like, nope.
And things just keep on happening.
And it just keeps getting worse and worse. Oh my God. Yeah, I was on a little bit of an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, so let's just talk about here what this movie really is to us, because at times, maybe this is just more about me, not us, but At times, I feel like I was looking into a mirror.
You know,
I'm just gonna come right out and say it.
I had the same thought because sometimes...
Not about you looking into a mirror.
No.
Looking
about
at me.
you.
Me.
So when the movie opens, he's at a hardware store and he's haggling with the guy at the counter because he wants 5 feet of rope, but they only charge
He wants to pay for 5 feet of rope.
But they only charge by the yard. So he does not want to pay for 6 feet of rope. He wants to pay for 3. That is some haggly bullshit that you would do. Honest to God. And the way he is just like, sort the recycling the right way. And my God, it's an Allen wrench. And just these weird little eccentric things. He just wants it the way he wants it. And everyone is an idiot. There is a very real slippery slope that you could go down and you would be Otto. That would be you.
Yeah.
I hope to God I die first, because if I leave you alone,
God.
you're going to turn into this man.
You're not wrong, though. I could absolutely see myself going down this road. And not just, not to get dark here, but not just the being a grumpy old man and just kind of being, in my own house and just stewing. No, I would very much consider the other options that he attempted like 3 different times.
You miss me too much, and what is the point?
Him describing their relationship and how he was prior to meeting his wife and what it was afterwards. He was black and white and she was the color. That fucking broke me. Because, Betsy, that's you.
Aww.
You are my color. And I'm not just saying that to be sappy here, because, good God, my life was just not a mess, but I was very lonely. I really had nothing to live for.
You're a creature of routine, and you would get up and go to work, and you'd come home, and you'd eat alone, and you'd take care of your house.
It's not just routine, though. It is ritualistic.
Yes.
That's what Otto is in this movie. Like, I need to do my rounds. I need to get up at the same time every day. I do the same things in the same order every single morning. And if something gets in the way, something distracts me, then my entire day is ruined. Even if that routine involves, suicide. And I'll be honest, there's a lot of talk about suicide in this movie and in this podcast, so fair warning, we apologize, but that's part of the movie. But you get what I'm saying, though, when it comes to the ritualistic thing. Like, I'm kind of like that. I'm not so bad that if something gets in my way that my entire day is ruined.
Yes and no. There are things that definitely ruin you for a good hour. The other day, we were putting things in a frame, and we broke the glass.
Mm-hmm. We bought a brand new frame.
And you sulked about that for like an hour. Meanwhile, I'm like, it's a frame. We can all move on with our day. I let things go so much more easily than you do. I am much more freewheeling and go with the flow and improvise. But you're like, no, I need to know what we're doing and when we're doing it, and I need it my way.
Damn it, it's the principle of the thing. I just bought this. It can't break yet.
I'm going to return this, and by God, if they try to knock down 10% on the return, I'm going to have a fit. I'm going to call the manager. Yeah, I definitely was having those same thoughts where this guy is definitely a version of you. In the multiverse of Trent, there is a version of Trent that exists that is Otto.
That went to school for engineering and like met someone off the street.
By chance.
By chance, the way he meets her, like he doesn't even say anything to her.
It's the one impulsive thing he ever does his entire life. Is chasing her to give her her book.
Well, and he's an absolute Boy Scout about it. Like, hey, hello, miss, you dropped your thing, but he doesn't even say that.
No, he just stands there awkwardly and stares at her before she goes, wait, is that my book?
Is that my book? Oh, thank you. That is my book, right? Do you speak?
Oh, it's a whole relationship. Like, he even describes it at one point where they were just night and day, completely opposites. Yep. And when they show their relationship developing, she is making all the moves. So he gets off the train, she follows him and says, well, why don't you take me out to dinner?
Wouldn't it be nicer if you took me out to dinner?
When they go out to dinner and she's 15 minutes late, he's like, you're 15 minutes late, because that's what concerns him. And she's just like, am I? Woohoo, free-willing, like just much more willy-nilly about it. And then when they eat, he ate at home so she could get what she wants because he doesn't have money to take her out. Yeah. And he's embarrassed and about to leave, and she kisses him.
And it's because he was honest. The way I interpret that scene and why she got up to grab him to keep him from going away, it's because he levels with her. I am not in the Army. They didn't let me because I have a heart condition. I ate beforehand because I don't know if I could even pay for my own meal. I certainly can't pay for your meal.
I don't have a job.
But it's an unspoken thing that I want to be with you. And it's everything is unspoken between these two except from her. She's the one who says it.
Yes, she's the driving force.
Yes.
He needs someone to push him along and prompt him. Like, he has the idea. It's not like he is devoid of choice.
He wants it in his brain.
He just doesn't know how to act on any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So when he graduates, he phrases it as, would you ever want to get married?
Right.
Like a theoretical question.
Yeah.
And she says, stop.
Hi. We didn't quite do it like that. Like, we were literally about to go to sleep. And
No, it was an afternoon. Don't tell the people the wrong story.
Was it I don't even remember.
It was a Sunday
the context.
afternoon. I was at your house. I don't remember if it was you or me, but one of us asked the question, if we theoretically were going to get married, how would we do it?
How would we do it? Not if we were going to get married.
No. But by the end of it, we decided, I guess we're getting married.
By the end of it, we were planning a wedding.
We basically planned a wedding in like a conversation, because that's who we are as people.
And of course, the short version of that is we got married at the courthouse with a very, very small group of people around us. It is just our immediate family and one friend as our witness.
Some of our immediate family.
Some who could actually make it. And we didn't tell anybody.
No, it was
We
fun.
didn't tell any of our friends except for the one person that we had as our witness. And the next day, we just announced it to everybody saying, hey, guess what? We're married now.
But yeah, in this, she picks up what he's putting down, and she says, no, look at me, turn, look me in the eye, and do it properly.
Do it right.
And of course, she's like ecstatic and honking the horn, and she's
Right.
like, yay, we're getting married.
And he's just happy that she said yes.
Yeah. And it's everything like that the whole time they're together. And they go through some fucking devastating shit. They finally decide to have a baby, and they take a trip because they'd never taken a vacation because he doesn't have any money.
Right.
So they take a vacation, and it's just chance, and they get in a bus accident, and they lose the baby. So they never had kids, and she's paralyzed the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And then she gets cancer and she dies. And he's in this homeowners association and he gets kicked out. And there's all this like anger, things in his life that he's so angry about. And
Yeah.
she's the only reason calming him down.
But here's the thing, though. He's not angry about anything having to do with him. He's angry on behalf of other people. That's where I come in, because I get just outraged sometimes on behalf of other people. Like, I think it's bullshit that you have to deal with this. Not me, you. I can empathize with so many kinds of people and so many different situations that, you know what, me being here in my own life, I'm doing fine.
But everyone else is an idiot. If they think that and it's affecting you in a negative way, well, they're an idiot.
Well, it's more, you know, I'm going to advocate for you, and if they don't get what I'm saying, if they don't have the same empathy for you that I do, then yes, they're an idiot. But like you were saying about the homeowners association, he was up there, I mean, he did it in the wrong way, but he was up there advocating for his wife, saying, hey, these houses were built without any kind of accessibility.
And this is pre-ADA, so
Right.
what's he going to do about it?
Totally. So he's up there going to bat, and the only thing that he knows is to fucking throttle somebody about it.
He gets very angry, and it comes out in a physical way.
Yeah. And you see that a little bit with when he's doing the driving instruction, and he gets out of the car and accosts the guy in the truck behind him.
I loved that scene where he is just like, I have decided I am going to teach this woman how to drive.
Right.
Because clearly the guy who is teaching you is an idiot.
Right.
So I'm the only one who can do it right.
Yeah, and after he gets back into the car, he says the nicest thing.
In his own way.
In his way. You came from a faraway country. You have already had 2 children and are raising them basically by yourself.
You know another language. You are doing the best you can with that idiot husband of yours.
And you, ma'am, are not an idiot.
So you can do this.
You can do this.
Uh-huh.
And at that point, as soon as she calmed herself, she was able to do it. And that's fantastic.
Yeah. Once he finally opens himself up to the possibility of actually helping other people again, because that used to be something he was all about as part of the homeowners association.
Yeah.
then he gets back into, I have a reason to live. But up until then, he's just shut himself off from the world. And this is not a guy who is angry. It's a guy who is sad, and he needs to deal with being sad.
Yeah, and so many things have happened in short succession. Because at the beginning of the movie, he goes to work, and it's already his last day. He's being forced out. The company he works for got acquired, and they're basically going around to a bunch of different people who have had a lot of tenure and probably get a very high salary. They're forcing them out with a big severance package.
Well, it's a restructuring because they're merging companies, which means they probably have duplicate employees at that level in that job, and they don't need to. So why give it to this guy who's near retirement or past retirement when you can give it to the 32-year-old kid who he hired and trained.
And trained, that's the thing.
That is the worst feeling in the world. And sometimes the best. In his situation, it's the worst. Like, as somebody who went through that where I had hired people or someone hired me and then I became their boss.
Yeah.
It sometimes can work out, but in his situation, he's too old for that shit.
As you get older, it's just going to start happening. Like, my boss right now is younger than I am. Your boss is pretty close to your age. She's in your new job.
Yeah, and I think as I get older, I'm just going to keep having younger bosses. It's very strange.
Until you start to become the boss again.
If I get there, yes.
If you get there, it's gonna take some time. Anyway.
But yeah, that happens, and he basically decides, well, my wife's gone, and I don't have a job, and I don't really see the point of this. I miss my wife. I want to be with her.
Right.
So I'm just going to end it all. And that's how this starts.
Right.
This movie starts with him drilling a hole in his ceiling, hanging up a hook, and making a noose.
Right. And at the beginning of the movie, when the very beginning of the movie, he's at this hardware store called Busy Beaver. And on the intercom, there's these pre-recorded messages saying, "Are you a busy beaver? You need to come and join our club," or whatever the fuck. And he's just muttering to himself, "Busy beaver, what the fuck is that all about?" That's something I would do too.
Well, and the guy tries to help him, and he's just like, "I can cut this rope myself."
Like, what do you think I'm gonna do? Cut myself?
Yeah, are you afraid I'm gonna injure myself and sue you? I know more than you. Be gone.
Right.
I don't need your employee.
He's basically a grumpier Ron Swanson.
He is.
But from that scene, you think in a movie, somebody's getting a length of rope. What does that mean?
Yeah,
usually in movies.
What does an older man need that specific length of rope for?
Right. And he's also checking the strength of the rope.
Tensile strength.
Yeah.
Well, listen, when he finally gets around to attempting it, I was like, that hook isn't going to hold him. It's a tiny little screwed in thing.
Yeah.
This was destined for failure from the start. But he keeps finding things that distract him long enough from doing it. And if you want to be a spiritual person or interpret it that way, there's little things in the universe pushing him towards you need to still live.
Yeah, and
every time he gets there.
Totally. And I bring this TV show up a lot in this podcast because there's a lot of things that I really love about it. The show Dead Like Me deals with death and the afterlife and things like that. And it's a great show. Look it up if you haven't already seen it. But there is a scene in, I think, the first or second episode where people are talking about, okay, well, you either can find a way to get through it, and you're going to deal with heartbreak, you're going to deal with loss, you're going to deal with all sorts of negative things. And, that sucks, but it is a part of life. But you also don't get to experience the lovely things in your life. You don't get to have your favorite food. You don't get to go and do your favorite thing. And if you can't reconcile those two things together, then you don't get to have the good things, nor do you have to go through the bad things. And in this movie, he is basically reminding himself there is joy in life, even if it's just little tiny bits of joy when your neighbor brings you cookies.
Oh yeah, like her putting her foot on the door.
Yeah.
As she refuses to let him shut her out. That is the symbolic and literal crack in his facade.
Yes.
And it just keeps getting wider and wider from there. Because Marisol shows up and I freaking love her.
Yeah, she's great.
That is a great character. And she's just like, you're kind of a mean asshole, huh? Well, I don't care. I'm going to make you my friend because that's who I am. And she just refuses to give up on
with
him.
a smile.
With a smile.
She can make the most cutting remark with a smile, and that's the greatest thing.
Oh, yeah. She is a total boss bitch. She is the head of this household.
Yep.
She is in charge. And even though she can't do something, practical like driving, she figures out how to get around without it.
Right.
And then she learns.
Yeah, and plenty of people who live in big cities who don't have a driver's
never
license
had to.
and never needed to.
No, if you live in certain cities, it's not an issue. But they moved to what is presumably outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Something like that,
Somewhere in Pennsylvania. She suddenly needs to know how to drive, and she just keeps asking him. And I don't know if she just is one of those people that refuses to give up, if she's just obstinate in that way, where she's like, no, you will be my friend, and I'm cracking this wall down, because you've got some friends like that, Trent.
Oh, yeah.
That's the other thing. You have had this experience where people are like, no, we're friends now. Get used to it.
Yeah, I see there's a glimmer of a person that I want to be friends with, and I need to pull him out.
Yeah, so she just keeps at it. She says, can we borrow an Allen wrench? And can we borrow a ladder? And can you drive me to the hospital?
Right.
And can you watch my kids? And I brought you food, and I brought you cookies. The fact that 2 times in this movie, he manages to not go through with it because he is distracted by her food.
By her food, yeah.
Like he is saved by the joy of cookies. That speaks volumes to her ability and the fact that maybe he doesn't really want to go through with it. He just thinks he has to at this point.
He thinks that that's the next thing. Your wife dies, you're an old man. What is there left for you to do except die next?
Because he doesn't have anything else.
He doesn't have anything else, yeah. His mother died at a very, very young age from him, and his father had the same heart condition that he has. He also died young.
And it's kind of a ticking time bomb with him. He knows it's going to kill him eventually.
Yeah.
So what's the point in living? I'll just eventually die or I'll take care of it myself.
And think about him wanting to join, I think he was enlisting for the military. Either that or he was drafted and they excused him. But if he would have actually gone through with it and he didn't have the heart condition and he did join the army, that's a guy I would expect probably would have been a lifer. Where they had nothing else to live for, they don't have anybody at home, they have no family, no girlfriend, no wife, no nothing. They would just stay in the military forever.
Because they like the routine.
Yeah.
The structure is good for him.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
But yeah, he has rounds. He has to go around and check that everybody has got their parking permit. And he yells at the UPS man, which there's a great nod in here where he's like, the UPS driver, you can't park there. The guys with the white truck don't do this, which if you're paying attention is a FedEx joke, and he is a FedEx employee in Castaway.
Thank you for the reminder.
And he just keeps doing all the HOA stuff because there is no HOA, but he used to be responsible.
Yeah, and no one is asking him to do this. Nobody elected him to do this. He's just doing it because it's something to do.
He's that busybody on the, what is that website for the neighborhood?
Oh, God, he's a next door guy.
He's kind of a next door guy.
Oh, God.
Where he's just like, you can't leave your bike there.
He embodies next door.
Stop pooping on my lawn with your rat dog. I'll kick it to the roof.
Well, and part of that is because the guy who took over is incapacitated. He's catatonic inside of his home. He can't do anything.
Yeah, Ruben used to be on the same team with him.
Yeah.
They were friends. And then they had a falling out because he gets upset about simple things like he was a Ford man and I'm a Chevy guy.
And he would have been able to accept that because he's buying an American car and American cars are built right. But then he bought a Toyota.
And that was the end of their friendship.
That's the end of the line. He's even giving him a token of friendship saying, hey, let's bury the hatchet.
Nope.
Here's something that you like. No, you bought a Toyota? Fuck this.
That's a bridge too far for me. And he's just shut himself in this little routine, and everybody in the neighborhood doesn't appreciate him. And even the ones who actually are his friends that he's kind of pushing away, they keep trying. Like the dude who's high kicking down the street trying to get his steps in.
The guy in the tracksuit, yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to get him to engage with him and come over for lunch. And the woman who is Ruben's wife, she keeps saying, come over, help me with this.
Yeah.
That used to be his thing. And he doesn't want to engage. He just stays out of it. But it's not until he just can't stand it anymore where he's just like, I'm going to parallel park this car for you because I'm sick of you looking like an idiot. My God.
And of course, this is the thing that interrupts the first suicide attempt.
Yep. And it just keeps going from there where now there's this street cat and somebody's got to take care of the cat. It's like, guys, there's humane societies. You're telling me not one place in the state of Pennsylvania takes in stray animals. If you really don't want that animal, someone can find it. But I'm just like, trust me, I would have taken that cat like the first time I saw it. I'd be like, who do you belong to? Me now.
Especially if you didn't have one.
Especially if I didn't have one.
But again, it's going back to having something to live for. Like, you keep on living so that cat can also keep on living.
Oh yeah, it's the cat distribution system. It showed up at his door. That cat is yours. He didn't take a hint very well, though. It took a few tries of that cat lingering at his front door and at his garage before he finally took it in. And then he loved the cat.
Of course.
And he's just like, I don't know what to do with this cat. Yeah, that cat's yours. That's not going anywhere.
But you know what? Did you also see in some of the little flashback scenes, they did have a cat?
Yeah, there was some reference to a cat.
There was a cat there somewhere.
Yeah, his wife was the cat person, so he thinks he's not. No, once you've got a cat, you're a cat person.
Hey, I was the cat person before I met you. I had a cat.
It's true. But now I've had 3 cats since I've been with you, and I would be taking in the cat.
Now I have to take cats away from Betsy.
It's true. We had a stray in our backyard, or at least we think it was a stray. But the short version is we took it to the Humane Society because if we didn't, I was going to keep that cat.
Yeah.
And I can't have 3 cats in this house. That's 1 cat too many.
Yes.
Okay, to segue out of that completely, there is a sequence where one of the times he is contemplating how to end his own life is he's gonna jump in front of a train. But he gets to the train station, and while he's there, another old man falls on the tracks. And everybody at this fucking place whips out their phones and starts recording.
Yeah.
And because he is the only one who in this group is clearly not an idiot, he's just like, oh, for God's sakes. And he leaps on the track and saves this man.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal, guys. The train is that far away. You can't even see it yet. Just come and help me.
It's the audacity of these people that they just took out their phones and started recording. This, in this modern era, is something that pisses me off so much. It really depends on the situation. And in a life-threatening situation where there's a man lying on the tracks, just fucking get him!
Yeah, and okay, this is one thing that I had a problem with this movie. I think they went way, way too far into the social media and like poking fun at the social media thing. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, people would probably do that, but you're telling me that out of the like 20 people that were standing there, none of them would help? All of them had their phones out? I don't think so.
Unfortunately, there are certain groups of people I do believe that. I think depending on the time and the place, I think it is very possible no one would think to first jump on the tracks. That would not be the immediate thought they have.
I don't know. I maybe I have more faith in humanity than you do.
Oh, I think I just have more empathy for the situation at hand.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even think I'd just jump on the tracks.
Yeah, and
I like to think I would anyway.
Sure, and like going along with the whole social media thing, the social media journalist lady who showed up. I mean, just the title itself is ridiculous. I'm totally with Otto here, but
it's also real-ish.
Yes, that's exactly where I was going with this. There are people who have massive, massive followings. A lot more people than even watch the CBS Evening News.
That's because the modern generations do not watch the CBS Evening News. They don't watch any evening news.
They don't watch television.
They Google what's going on. They get it on TikTok.
Do that. It's all
get
fucking TikTok and Instagram.
It's on social media.
Yes, it is all social media. Whether it's all bullshit or not, that is how people are getting their information.
Yeah, and her whole thing is like real people and real stories.
Yeah.
So I get it, but yeah, I would also be like him where it's just like, why are you here? It really wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah,
leave me alone.
Mind your fucking business.
Yeah.
Why don't people mind their own business? That's my opinion. I've kind of mentioned this before, but I'm not that into participating in social media. You know, I don't like to tweet a lot. I don't like to post things. I don't like to put my face out there all that much. Not because, you know, I have a problem with it. It's more, mind your fucking business. You don't need to hear every single thought that comes out of my head. Sometimes
You'd be mean. Some of your thoughts would be mean because you're like Otto.
Yeah, but that's the thing. There are people out there who put out mean thoughts like that, or just random thoughts
without thinking.
But they do it for the attention. They do it to get a rise out of people, and I fucking hate that. I don't want to participate in that kind of economy.
No, you're more of the browsing, and some things are amusing to you, and you're not gonna be there like, hey, what's up, guys? A man just fell on the tracks, and follow my channel.
Follow us.
That was genuinely a thing that happened here, and I was just like,
and I know,
slap them bitches.
Yeah, and I know they went they went far enough for the movie just to get a rise out of the audience, but there are people that would probably react that way. But that's the other thing about you and me. Like, when I was single, I used to keep a blog, and I would write all the time about whatever that was on my mind. But it wasn't like short little, thoughts. I would go in depth onto whatever it is that was on my mind and put it all out there. That's how I kind of dealt with what was in my brain. But then I met Betsy, and I had a different kind of outlet for that, and I could get feedback on the things that was on my mind, so I stopped writing.
And now we've just extrapolated that by placing a microphone between
us. And now
us.
there's a fucking podcast about it. But this is just about movies. There are way too many other conversations that we have that we should not ever record.
No, you don't want to hear those.
You don't want to hear those.
Those are bad.
Yes.
Those are weird. Those are too weird for the populace.
Yes.
We have weird conversations.
Yes. All right, so I want to talk about all of the other different things that come into Otto's life that make him, think that life is still worth living. Part of that is, Marisol and her husband have a couple of kids, and he never had the opportunity to have any kids, so he is apparently very good with children.
Eventually, but
they kind of break him down.
They're a foreign concept to him at the beginning because he's just like, hello, small human.
Right.
What do I do here?
It's more like, hello, nice to meet you. My name is Otto Anderson.
OTTO.
Yeah. And they're like, hi, Otto. My name's Anna.
And Abby. ABBY.
No, Abby. OTTO. But there's the scene of him going to the hospital after the idiot husband falls off the ladder, and he's just there watching the kids, and the clown comes in. They do the thing with the coin. Oh, God.
He accosts the clown, but
he does accost him. I figured that he might have gotten really physical with him, but no.
He just wants his quarter back. But that's the thing. He doesn't explain in a calm and rational way any of the ways he is thinking or feeling. His immediate reaction is to react.
Right.
So he doesn't say to the clown, listen, my dead wife gave me this quarter. It's my lucky charm. I need it back. He probably shouldn't have given it to him in the first place.
That's the other thing.
But then instead of going about it calmly, he shakes the clown down and rips apart his costume and takes the quarter away from him.
I know you had it.
And is escorted from the premises. But afterwards, he's in the car and he just lets out the tiniest little smile, the littlest little smirk.
Yeah.
And Marisol sees it and she says, that's how my dad used to smile. Like, these big tough men who, they're scary and mean, but they just have a big teddy bear heart. And she's like, yeah, I'm getting to you. I'm absolutely getting through to you.
And when he goes over to babysit, before they go out on their date, which is very reminiscent of them going on the vacation, because, hey, we know we're not going to be able to go out to dinner.
It's a baby moon kind of a thing, but just dinner.
Yeah. He goes over there, he reads the stories, he gives them the chocolate milk, but also he finds himself to be, useful, and he installs their dishwasher.
Because they probably have no idea how, because her husband thinks it's called an Alvin wrench. But he just does it without being asked. He expects no thanks. It's that thing where it's like, I know how to fix this, and it's going to bother me if it isn't done correctly, so I'm just going to do it.
In a way, that is kind of me as well. Like, I know how I want this to be done, so I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to have anybody else do it. I might pay somebody else to do it, but as long as they do it the way I want it done.
Yeah, don't say thanks to me. Don't pay me. I'm just going to take care of it.
Right. Another thing that kind of enters his life is Malcolm. This person who was just driving along and throwing flyers onto people's lawns, and at the beginning of the movie, we see him collecting all these flyers and putting them in the recycling.
Yes, and his whole thing is, why don't you get a real job instead of harassing people with your garbage? And Malcolm says, well, I have two other jobs.
Yeah, I do have other jobs because things are really hard right now.
And I'm trying to save up for a car.
Right.
And Malcolm basically is also trying to get to know Otto because Otto's wife, Sonia, was his teacher.
Yeah.
And he lets him know this and says, I'm trans, and Sonia was one of the first people that really supported me.
Right.
And she got the other teachers to call me Malcolm when I wanted to be called Malcolm. He doesn't react in a way that you expect most modern old men to react. He goes, oh.
Right. And because, he did marry Sonia, you know that he's not going to be this bigoted asshole, because if you're married to a gal like Sonia, of course you're not going to have those things in your heart because she wouldn't tolerate it.
No. And when Malcolm gets kicked out of his house because dad sucks, who does he go to but Otto?
Right.
And Otto doesn't really understand it, but he says, oh, okay, come on in, and gives him a place to stay. And then he makes breakfast and is like, well, don't you want coffee? And goes, what? I'd like some coffee.
Oh, this is really good.
It's just those quiet moments where Otto is getting joy out of the simple pleasures of life, like when he gets the eclair and when he has that cup of coffee and when he starts experiencing life. There's these little moments where he smiles and is like, oh, okay, maybe there's things to live for.
And he starts opening up to Marisol, like when they go to the bakery, and he allows himself to go back to the bakery where they spent so much time. They would go there every Saturday.
It was their routine. Again, routine.
It totally is. And he's allowing himself to feel these feelings again, feel joy, like you said. He's finding purpose again. He can be, Uncle Otto or Grandpa Otto or whatever it is to these kids across the way, and he's just a part of their life. At the end of the movie, there's all these photos that they took with him and the kids and the family. He's another member of their family.
He gets some time with them.
Yeah.
They don't say how long it is, but like she has a baby, and then it's clearly a few years, I think.
When this movie is taking place, it is 2018. There's 2018 numbers all over the place. At the end of the movie, on his gravestone, it is 2022.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep, because his wife died 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And then, all right, so they got 3-4 years together.
Yeah.
And he starts realizing, okay, there's stuff to live for, but I do need to have my stuff in order for when the time comes that I do die.
Right.
And he gives Malcolm his car. Like, he teaches Malcolm how to take care of it and then says, here's your manual, here's the keys, it's your car, peace out.
Here's your Chevy Cruze.
Here's your Chevy Cruze. And he takes care of the kids when he needs to, and he leaves the house and everything else, the truck, to Marisol.
He buys a brand new truck, and it's... Oh boy. And I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but the product placement in this movie, we have to talk about it.
So it's inconsistent with his character.
Yeah.
He has gone on about how I'm going to teach you how to drive and not some automatic. So he has a stick shift and he's going to teach her to drive manual.
Right.
And then at the end of the movie, he drives this big electronic...
It's an electric
automatic truck.
Yeah.
That makes no sense compared to what he has been on about the rest of the movie.
And there's no other time in the movie where he is like, oh, I wish I could get a truck someday, regardless of if it's, automatic or electric or gas or diesel or anything like that. There's no mention of a truck at all. And then at the end of the movie, this giant truck that barely even fits on that road that goes by the houses.
It won't fit in his garage, certainly.
No. All of a sudden, that's his most prized possession, and he leaves it to Marisol.
Yeah, if there's anything you could choose to be a little nitpicky about, it is the end of this movie because, oh, he finds out the neighbor has Parkinson's, but there's actually this evil real estate corporation that is like getting their secret medical files.
That is personified by Mike Birbiglia.
Right.
One of our favorite comedians.
So they're hacking into their files or something and manipulating them to get their property.
Right.
And so there's like this evil corporation, and they take them down using social media and know-how. But it's just like out of nowhere, and that's like what gives him the gumption to like save the day. So he has this hero moment. And yes, it's a little cheesy. You kind of are excited to see it if you're going along for this ride, but if you want to be really nitpicky, as I said, that part is very like, why?
Yeah.
What?
It kind of took me out of it a little bit, especially because of all of the prominent angles, and it's very shiny when it's like snowing outside.
Yes, but then at the very end of the movie, Otto dies, and I'm a weeping mess because he leaves a note that says, "Don't worry, I didn't do anything stupid, but I knew this heart condition was going to get me eventually.
Yeah.
This is what the cat eats. This is how he eats. You can have everything on the condition you never let your husband drive the truck."
Did you also notice the cat never got a name?
I guess not.
He just says the cat.
Sometimes people do that. They don't name their animals. They just refer to them as the cat.
Yeah.
We referred to our old cat as Kitty.
Yeah. My first cat, he was given a name. He was given the name Attila, but I never called him Attila.
No.
He was always Kitty.
His name is Kitty.
Yeah.
Some people are just like that.
Yeah.
They're not sentimental. Like, I don't think he ever planned on having a cat. He just kind of tolerates the cat living in his house. So it's just the cat.
Yes. Well, I think that's where we can start to wrap this up. Betsy, did you have anything else to mention before we leave Hanksgiving?
Well, it seems like we should probably address the fact that there is another son in the Tom Hanks clan that I did not know existed until this movie.
Much less another actor in the family.
So Truman Hanks plays Otto as a young man.
Yeah.
And I saw the name in the credits and I was like, well, duh, this must be one of his family members. I just didn't know which one.
And we didn't know the context of what this movie was going to be about, if we're going to see a younger him or anything like that. Oh, maybe it's his cousin. Maybe it's his brother.
He has a brother who acts.
Yeah.
We've talked about him before.
Yeah, the brother does the Tom Hanks voice for like video games and non-movies for like all the Toy Story spin-offs.
Right, but Truman is his son, and the reason I don't think we knew about him is he isn't an actor, primarily. He is more of a on the set kind of a guy. I was looking into this, and he does not have a lot of acting credits.
Okay.
And it's because he works on the crew, usually.
Yeah, and if they were to have used Colin is around our age, so it wouldn't have really fit.
Colin's also not available all the time because he actually has an okay career of his own.
He does.
Even though of the group, I think there's the three because it's Colin, Truman, and Chet.
Oh, Chet.
And Chet?
You saw something about this movie.
Chet is apparently a musician of sorts.
Yes, you could call it that.
When Mike Birbiglia is driving down the street blasting rap music, that is apparently a Chet Hanks song.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Bringing it all together.
All in the family.
All the Hanks men getting into the business, into the family business in their own way.
Yeah.
But he was good in this. I don't think he was outstanding, but he also didn't have a whole lot to do. He's just very wide-eyed and love-struck, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he is the exact opposite of his older self. He is young and squishy and happy, and you just want to give him a hug.
Sure. And, as things go on, they swap out him for actual Tom Hanks, but he's de-aged. They do that de-aging thing, which we hate.
Yeah, it looked like they de-aged him.
Yeah.
Not in a great way.
They gave him a bad wig.
Yeah. I've seen it done better.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I have anything else to contribute here, but I know you put out the call on social media for thoughts about this movie before we even sat down, because we announced it, during our last Hanksgiving episode. Betsy, we got a couple of notes. What did we get?
So we got a couple people who have seen A Man Called Otto. Because it's newer, it's always hard to know if people have watched this movie or not.
Yeah.
But we found a couple. So my sister commented, I couldn't watch past the first 30 minutes. It was slow, and I was worried about the cat too much. You know, listen, Yes, at the beginning, there is some touch and go of what's going to happen with this cat. But Katie, I will assure you, if for some reason you are listening to this episode, if you haven't been convinced by now that it's worth getting through that first 30 minutes, well, then, move on with your life, I guess.
The cat ends up in a good place.
We also got a comment from Blake, who is one of our local listeners. He said, not a big Hanks guy, but really liked this one. The final shot of Hanks in this is heartbreaking. Great movie.
Yeah. And it's funny you say you're not really a Hanks person because, I might have said, and we can probably just wrap up this whole Hanksgiving thing in general. It's not like I wasn't a Tom Hanks fan. It's just the movies that he tended to make back in the 2000s and even the 90s are not really things that I'm really into. I'm not into romantic comedies. I'm not into the survival thing of Castaway. I wasn't really into that.
The war movies.
Of
Saving Private Ryan, which we did a few months ago.
We did that this year. And, sitting down and actually watching these movies and analyzing them as we do, I think I got a better appreciation of his acting chops because when we watched Philadelphia, I really felt what was going on with him. That scene of him, I call the opera scene. There's not really any other way to say it, but that really got to me. And him being able to, carry the movie the entire way through Castaway, the movie is fine for what it is, but the accomplishment with Castaway was that I didn't feel bored. He was the lone factor propelling that movie to the very end. And, Splash being what it is, it's a funny comedy. It's him being his normal comedic self. John Candy also helped there. So, I don't know. I mean, what did you think about this whole endeavor?
So Blake's comment about not being a huge Hanks fan, I can totally see that because he has been doing, like you said, this swath of movies for 40 years. And they do tend to find a groove. There are certain ones where you could look at them on the surface, like this one, A Man Called Otto, where you're like, well, I know what to expect with that movie.
Right.
Was it what we expected? Kind of. Also completely not what we expected.
It surprised us.
And the fact that he is still, at this point in his career, getting nominated for Oscars, and they're all so different. Like the last few have been as Mr. Rogers, as Captain Phillips, as, these very different kinds of roles. And if that doesn't prove to you that this guy does have some really great skills and can do more than just the goofy ass 80s comedies where he started from.
Right. And, a guy in this position might be relegated to being like a really, really good character actor.
The elder statesman of character actors, basically.
Yeah, but, we did Captain Phillips and we chose not to do Sully. These are two real guys that, he had never really done before. He had never, to my knowledge anyway,
Not a biopic, per se.
He had not played a real person. And that's a different kind of a challenge.
He did in Charlie Wilson's War, but that's also like a satire comedy.
It's kind of a send-up of something that really happened. So it's less of a biopic and more of a, this is the type of guy this guy was.
Right. The other thing about this experience has just been, we picked 5 what feel like really random selections when you line them up together.
Sure.
But just the fact that there were little callbacks that you can see similarities, like the fact that he keeps washing up on a beach in Splash and in Castaway. There's a couple of these movies where he goes to some really dark places and he's really depressed or he's going through incredible stresses. He gets to be funny. He gets to be weird.
And he gets to be his normal Tom Hanks charming self, which is what you expect. But what his career is going to be going forward, is he going to be one of these elder statesmen like the De Niros and the Jack Nicholsons of the world? Is he going to be like one of those guys? Or is he just going to fade away into being a producer and not really much of an actor anymore? I don't know.
I guess we're going to find out. So far, it doesn't seem like he has any intention of stopping. He might he might just decide one day to say, no, I'm done now. And we'll be like, but please, Mr. Hanks, don't go away. Because I'm going to be honest, this was a goofy idea we had to do this series. Hanksgiving is just a very stupid pun. And it's something so obvious that I'm amazed it took me this many years for someone to point out to me that Hanksgiving was a thing.
I'm sure it's been out there, but the fact that you thought of it to do it before, we didn't have to wait another year to do it.
I had the preemptive motivation.
We hadn't done an actor series so far this year.
We hadn't, but I'm gonna be honest, all in all, I had a really good time, and I just like him. You don't have to. It's okay if you don't like actors, you don't like movies. People are allowed to like and not like whatever they want.
Yeah.
But for me, I really enjoyed this series overall, and it just makes me want to go and revisit some of his other movies.
Agreed. All right. Betsy, that is it. I'm closing the book on Hanksgiving. We're not going to do another Tom Hanks movie for a very long time.
Not that we can think
Not
of.
that we can really come up with anyway. But before we go, we got a bit of a programming note about the month of December. You know, Betsy and I talked about this a bunch. You know, everybody's kind of busy around the holidays.
Including us.
And people don't really have a lot of time to sit down and, you know, listen to a lot of podcasts. So to make it easy on you guys and to make it easy on us, we're only going to put out 4 episodes in the month of December.
4 movie episodes, anyway.
Yeah, 4 movie episodes. They're all going to be Christmas themed, of course, because it is December and we've been doing that every year.
And our first one's going to be one I'm really excited about.
Betsy's really excited about this one.
This is a bucket list movie. You guys, everybody. I'm getting Trent to watch White Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this one.
And of course, at the end of the year, end of December, will be our big awards extravaganza that we've been having for the past couple of years.
Our third annual
Never Seen It Awards! Oh, those are always super fun, and there's a lot of prep works to that, so that's another reason why we're doing only 4 movie episodes in December. But of course, in that end of year celebration, we're going to be having our big announcement. Again, we're going to keep on teasing it the entire month. You're just going to have to wait till the end of the year to figure it out. But of course, if you could please do us a favor, go on your favorite podcast app of choice, give us a 5-star rating, leave us a review. It helps put us out there to more people so that they can discover the show.
And with all this extra time, if you do have time to listen to more podcasts, go back and listen to some of our episodes from 2023. As we're doing our year-end review, we like to hear from you. What episodes did you enjoy that we covered? What movie is your favorite that we covered this year?
Don't talk about the movie. Tell us what you thought about us.
Or go back and listen to last year's awards show. You can kind of get a sense for the categories.
Yeah, we're going to take away a couple of categories from last year and add in a couple more, so...
But maybe you have some nominees that you'd like to put forward. Yeah. Not saying they'll be eligible for voting, but we like to hear what you think.
Sure.
Send us those thoughts. We want to know what you liked that we did this year.
Absolutely. All right. That is where we're going to end this one. Betsy, I want to thank you for being here for all of Hanksgiving and for coming up with the idea.
It is the gift that keeps on giving every November.
We're not going to do this every November.
Every November.
No, I'm vetoing this idea. I'm ending the show. This has been Never Seen It. My name is Trent.
My name is Betsy.
And we'll catch you next Hanksgiving.
Bye.